Okay. Dragon Ball Z Cell yells. We need to have a discussion. Who remembers the Brainwaves Alaras? They look a lot like this. These were like a $400 headphone, Planar, that Brainwaves put out 2.5 years ago. And when I got them, I reviewed them, and I fucking loved them. Like, I legit love them. They had a couple weird quirks. Like, they fit my head without having to be extended at all. So they may not fit you if your ears are higher on your head, because they just won't. But, you know, Coney Nuggets, whatever. $400 for a Brainwaves headphone, though. And that was like, I mean, this is a solid metal. This is all metal. The metal grill. Comfortable headband. Nice pads. Came with 2 pairs of pads. Wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. Came with 2 pairs of pads. This nice little carrying case. The user headphone with the large. Oh, it was great. It's great. It was a great headphone. And then, like 2 months later, or a month and a half later, it wasn't even that long, the Sendiivas came along, and I was like, well, fuck everything else, but these Planars for a little bit more money and with a lot more detail crammed in there. And I was like, all right. So I sort of forgot about the Alaras. And then the whole world forgot about the Alaras. Now the Alaras aren't even for sale anymore. But there's a reason I got the Alaras. I'm not sure if Brainwave sent it to me or if I bought them, because they might have been on a sale on Brainwave's site. But a year before I got the Alaras, I was at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest with DMS and Joshua Valor and all them. And we were doing random booths, walking around, and someone was demoing something on the table, like an amp or something. And they had a set of these. So before I saw the Alaras, I listened to the quads and went, holy shit, what are these? These are great. And I remember looking them up, and they were not available in America. No habla americana. No habla. So I was like, shit. So when the Brainwaves Alaras, I'm like, those looked a lot like those. A lot like those. These $800 quad ERA-1s versus these $400 Brainwaves Alaras. And it was like a lot. Like the wire is like a lot. So got a taste for the ERA-1 sound. Really liked it. Walked away from that booth. Never saw it again. Year later or so, the Alaras are in my hands. Oof, really like these. They're fucking great. They're just clones of that. And now here we are in 2020. Apos has their full like list of headphones, and I look and I see they have these now. So now they're available in America. So I'm like, hey, Apos, do you mind sending me out the ERA-1s? I want to see something. I'll give them a full review. And so they're very obliging. Apos knows that I'm going to be doing lots of reviews from there. So is there anything you want to see from Apos? Link in the description. Go to their site, link, and then figure it out, because they have all the stacks, all the Mr. Speakers. There's a couple other interesting things like this, and I'm like, oh. So I asked them for this, and they send it, and I get it, and it says designed and engineered in the United Kingdom, which is probably why it wasn't available in America at the time, but it's not built in the United Kingdom. That's the little UK flag. What the hell is it called? The Grand Banner, the Old Glory. Is that Old Glory, or is ours Old Glory? What's theirs? What's the nickname for the British flag? The Tea Party standard? I don't know. Probably offensive to somebody. Anyway, they sends them out, and I get them out of the box, and I'm like, holy fuck, these are so nice. Keep in mind, these are lost somewhere in my closet. They're so nice, and I love this wire. This, like, fabric wire. It's a little plain Jane. I love that 3.5 millimeter. I love where it connects. These quads. And Quad is not... I think Quad makes other things. Like, I feel like Quad is an established brand. But I love that they plug in like the HD800 sort of place, because that's one of the problems I have with a lot of headphones is when it comes out the bottom like that, or like this, if you have them low enough on your head and your ears are big and the big headphones, this is going to be right near your shoulder. So when you do that to look at Megami and you're like, it's going to brush and rub, and I don't like that. So this is a wonderful, and more fucking headphones. Are you paying attention, headphones? Headphones, I believe, are watching this. This is a great place to plug things in. It just, you know, a little bit out of the way. Just a little bit out of the way, and it just, it flexes perfectly. Exact same headband. Exact same yoke. Exact same weight, basically. Exact same pads. Exact same pads. Except the quads come with another set of pads that is not the exact same pads, and I actually prefer these on the quads. The problem is they squeak. Wait. I can't get them to squeak. They squeak. Promise you they do. But I put the original Alara pads on, and I could actually put the original. I have like a brand new set of the Alara pads, because the Alaras came with 2 pads as well. In fact, these are even in sealed bags. And they're all they got the same peg system. They're the same headphone. But thankfully, I could sit here at my beautiful review desk with the dual 789s all coming off the same exact topping, D90, same amps, same cleanliness, same DAC, swap them around if I feel like it. And I could tell you that the Alaras are definitely based off the quads, like fully, but there is a sound change. And I think that basically has to do with just some very mild tuning. I think there's more open on the back of the brainwaves. You can just see how much mesh there is versus the basically 60% coverage you get in the quads. And the quads obviously look nicer. And I love where the wire input is. I love this. This is the fucking greatest thing ever, and everyone needs to fucking do it. And like I said on the brainwaves, the wire is really nice because the quads are the same wire. It's the same wire. Like exactly. This one says brainwaves on it, and this one doesn't. And I'm not upset at brainwaves for doing this, because you see the quad ERAs were not, like I said, not available in America. And even though they're designed and engineered in the United Kingdom, they're not made there. So brainwaves went to China, waved their hand around and said, hey, who has headphones that we could have made with our logo on them instead? And the people who make the quad said, we do. And they set the price at $400 instead of $800. And I kind of wish this didn't happen this way, because here's the thing. I really like the Alaras, and I really like the ERA-1s. I really do. I fucking really do. But now the world is tainted by these existing for half the price 2 years ago. And even if I give these a glowing review, which I kind of really want to, because I've grown into the sound and I kind of want a big soft planar, which is what this is. This is a big soft luxurious sipping tea in England planar. All you're going to be thinking is, well, I'm not paying $800 for a $400 headphone. And that is the saddest bit, because while I think they're a little bit overpriced at $800 for the packaging you get, I mean, you get like a box. I hate these I hate boxes that are so big for no reason. Like one thing Brainwaves definitely did is they beat them on the box and packaging, because you could squeeze this fucker into this thing, which is what they squeeze all their headphones into. And Quad is going for like that. Quad wants these to sell for $800. Quad desires that sale price because they are British, and it is a wonderful piece of engineering. And while I think the Quad probably did design and engineer it, but then some assholes in China fucking made it for Brainwaves, and they took most of that design and engineering. Maybe that's why it's not available anymore. Maybe these actually were sued into non-existence. Because I love these. There's people in my patronage chat who still pull out their Alaras every now and then and love them. And I haven't found these till I was doing this review, and I'm like, I gotta find my Alaras. And at least there's a sound difference. At least there's a sound difference. It's not a $400 sound difference. It's not a half price sound difference. And as much as the build is very good on this, I mean, I've seen it before. Here. So what you gain from the Quads over that. These are actually a little bit wider, a little bit softer. These will shove a little more detail in your face. But we should probably talk about it like these don't exist. So I think I've ruined the Quad review enough with these Alaras. All you got to know is if you have a set, you did good. These are a little bit closer, a little bit more in your face with sound. But if we're gonna ignore that, bitch, look, I'm not even gonna put your amp on. You're on the floor now. Stay there. These Quads do make me very, very happy to listen to them. I'm happy. I'm happy. I mean, I kind of want to just Class A them instead of this. In fact, we can, because Rebel Amp is nice enough to put their thing on the back, which is exactly where I always want the power switch for any device. I'm just gonna plug this over here. Low gain. Probably needs to go to medium gain. Nope, back to low gain. It's like, even listening to like a Dragon Ball Z fucking soundtrack, it's still a soothing sound. The reason I like the Sendiivas, the reason I forgot about those and went with the Sendiivas is those are sort of reaching for like that little bit of a little bit of more treble, a little bit more detail. And then the Sendiivas came along and went, fuck you, and then just destroyed them. They were prettier, they were more comfortable, they were lighter, they were a little bit more expensive, and they won. And I was like, we don't need the Ibrahimovic Laras anymore. But as time has passed, I have found the ultimate revision of the Sendiiva driver, at least in this acoustic research. My personal opinion, I've heard people say they don't like these at all. I don't know if that's manufacturing defects or whatever, but these are the ERA-1s, and they are the Sendiiva in the nicest fucking package ever. And I love these. So having found the ultimate in what the Sendiivas are capable of, and now the Civica P2s are out, and there's other cheaper variants, it's time to go back to like a time when the Alaras were here, and when the Alaras were the softest, nicest planar. These are the softest, nicest planar. The only other planar I would consider like in this sort of realm would either be the Ether CX, which is not much fucking less money than this. Ether CX I think is $900 if it's on drop. Or honestly, Sundaras. Sundaras are not an aggressive planar. They're a very wide, natural, detailed planar. They're very light. They're fluffy. They float away. And these, not quite as fluffy, not quite as floaty. They kind of remind me a little bit of the 4XXs, just a little bit. If the 4XXs are like $150 pair of planars, these are certainly a $500 equivalent of that sound signature. Where it's like, you know what? Just listen to music. Here's a scone and some tea and Dragon Ball Z. I had to keep saying Dragon Ball Z because it rhymed. Vampire Weekend. Penny Dreadful. Perfect. Because Penny Dreadful was a show that took place in England and it had starred James Bond. And it's one of those headphones that I could absolutely see people trying it on for 5 minutes and going, oh, these don't sound very good, and putting them down and walking away. But I will put my fucking dick on the table and say, look, dick on the table. There's just some days where Zeos does not want a close, aggressive, full like there's detail in this, but everything is muted, but not in a way that makes it boring. Everything is just This is the rough day at work planar. I had a rough day at work. My boss wouldn't stop nagging at me. The car didn't start. Got a flat tire. My ex called me up and said she was sorry, but now she's also banging 3 dudes. It was like, you had a bad day. These are the bad day headphone. Now, are they worth $800? Probably not. But that's what Quad wants to sell them for, and that's what they're selling for on APOS. And if I can talk softly, if you want me to talk softly at you, while like just gentle, Penny Dreadful music plays, like this is absolutely fine. I breathe to these headphones. I breathe to them. These I put on and I'm like, I gotta hear this song. Oh my God, I gotta hear this song. Oh, holy shit, I didn't believe I could hear this. And I'm never like that with these. These, I don't care what's playing. The bass is not like Killer Mike is not, well, do I want to run the Jules? Yeah. You know, even this is like, goes to the loudest part. Let's go to the loudest part. Because we'll see how it makes me feel. You know, it's just maybe a little more gain. Yeah, it's rumbly, but not bassy. And it's trebly, but not sharp. And the soundstage is just wide enough that it's like, oh, okay. So why not get the Sundaras? These are softer than the Sundaras. Sundaras have much more, they're much more opaque, the Sundaras. They float out there. And these just, the thing is how much money you're willing to pay for soft headphones. That's the question. But that's the same question you'd ask when you're spending $100,000 on a car. You want sports? You want cornering? You want handling, acceleration, the sound? Or do you want to buy an S-Class Mercedes with massaging seats and GPS that is not going to be able to corner as well? But, it gets the fucking job done going places. This is more towards the luxury end of headphones. It's British. This feels British. It sounds British. When I did those... or the wooden speakers that I was like, my God, I just want to... They were perfect restaurant speakers. I forget what they were, the white ones. Fuck. My UK audience just dropped to 0. Corn bench. It's always corn in something British. Oh, God. Not Cornwalls. They were red. They had like the grill that went in. I've lost it. Just shut this video off. It's garbage. She's drinking tea, by the way. I just realized. How does my brain do this? Because I picked this random wallpaper because I'm like, you know what? I like these. They're big and soft. But then she's got what looks to be like a turntable, and she's got some desserts, and she's definitely drinking fucking tea. God, my brain is good. It's the wee brain. It's just it just spins perfectly. Why can't I remember the name of that speaker company? Anyway, Wharfdale? Was it Wharfdale? Was that the red speakers that I was like, God, these are so soft. Like B&W, Bowers and Wilkins, like their whole thing is like they have their sound, and you either love it or you hate it. And I think from the few B&W I've heard, they're not like aggressive treble, like they just sort of like ruminate. These headphones ruminate. They're like, oh dear, let's play something on the music, the tunes place. Absolutely fine with the sound signature. I wish they were 600. Or 500. I wish they were 500. If they were 500, that's only $100 more than it was when it was Brainwaves revision. And since the sound is so similar, that would make my heart feel better. But I think, I think if someone's searching for the words coming out of my mouth, if you're like, God, I really just want to fucking... And it's not super heavy, like for a planar. It's bulky enough that it sort of like just feels correct. It's not like a M1060 or the monoprice giant planars. It all works. It all works. It's a bit overpriced, but it all works. I'm gonna send these back. I'm gonna keep those because I already fucking have them, and I'd say they're 92% of the way here. I might try to pad swap them, although, like I said, the pads literally they're pegged pads. They're not. Like, there's this weird... You gotta watch out, because I almost broke them. I almost broke those. I think they still have the same exact thing. Yeah. Didn't even bother changing it. There's a little tab up here that you think, oh, I'll pull the pads off with this tab, and it's not. That's to keep the cup from flopping back. But it's just like... I haven't done this yet. I'm sure it's gonna be... Oh, my God. I could see how many slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... Yeah, this is a slightly different material on here because I can't see through it quite as well. But that's barely a change. Oh shit, which pad's which? I think I can match the colors with that. Yeah. I really like these headphones. I enjoyed having them here. It's one of those reviews where I get a product and it's not like, oh, got this, got to try it, got to put it on. Okay, assess. All right, I'm ready to do the review. It's one of those headphones that I got and I'm like, oh, the review will come next week or the week after or 3 days before my fucking house close, because I just wanted them to hang around, because when I'm done, after this review, I gotta pack these up in this box and be like, hey, A-Post, you want these back? Send me a shipping label. And then they go away, and I kind of don't want them to go away, but at the same time, I mean, I got like the 94% over here. It's just, I still love the Alaras, and I still love the quads. It's just that this is one of those Spanish soap operas where, oh my God, my brother Guillermo, he's like almost an identical copy, but he's missing one eye and he wears an eye patch. That's the Alaras. He showed up and stole your bride. Now you must get your revenge. But you cost too much because you're the rich guy. I don't know. Look, I don't watch Spanish soap operas. I assume. Wallpaper. in the description. Sound demo for these in the description. And I wouldn't compare it against the Alara sound demo. First of all, pointing out Planar's weird when you sound record them because the microphones get fucked up by the thing. So I had to do EQs pre and post, and I think I got them to like about where they sound right, according to my Neumann. So if you have my Neumann NDH20s, you'll know exactly what my sound demos sound like. Yeah, links to everything I talked about. It was probably like 15 goddamn headphones I just mentioned. Don't mention another one, Zeos. Don't fucking mention another one. Thank you. Wallpaper, headphones. This channel runs on Patreon and Subscribestar. If you'd like to see all these reviews early, weeks beforehand, so that you can make your purchasing decisions with a small group of people instead of 10,000 in one day, please feel free to join the $5 tier. You also get access to the yard sales, which these will not be in. And I don't think I should have sold these a long time ago. Something about these Alaras, I just didn't fucking want to put them in the yard sale, which happens from the 1st to the 10th of every month, and you name your own price, and free shipping, continental United States, half shipping international. And then you could also message me on platform. If you're a patron, message me on Patreon. Keep it short. If you're a Subscribestar subscriber, message me there. Although that messaging program is bullshit. Support platforms. There's a $10 tier as well that puts you in the behind the scenes Telegram chat, which is where people who own Alaras, I'm like, Alara fan club, and I'm like, and then I pull them back out and I'm like, you know what? I fucking missed this. Like, they couldn't get more opposite ends of what I'm looking for in a planar headphone than the quads and the ARs. But at the same time, it's like, Alaras are pretty close to these. I'm done. Hi-Fi guides. You know Hi-Fi guides? You drinking tea? Got the British thing. It's great. I love it. I love how it all worked out. Yeah.